Welcome back to Sports Fans Only with your boy Sean Mack. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video and share the video. Like I always say, I couldn't do this without y'all. And today we're here for a little boxing. We're here for a good time, not a long time. I get you on out of here. But kind of breaking news, Jake Paul now wants to fight Deontay Wilder. I wasn't going to do one on this, but I'm like, we got to talk about it a little bit. First, I want to preface by saying this. What Jake Paul is doing with boxing, I respect. Not necessarily his matches, but the matches that come before him and the matches that he's putting people onto in the future. What I mean by that is he's putting a lot of people that only boxing heads really know, and your average viewer won't know about. So it's good to get those people in front of an audience to let them see how skilled that they really are, because some people that he's putting on are really skilled, and I really appreciate him for that. But as far as his fights and the level of competition that he's fought, he's put himself in some great positions. Silva, all these people, right? So, but the last fight against Chavez Jr., I watched that fight. Chavez did not throw a punch until maybe the fifth, sixth round, and he hit him pretty good. He got Jake on that chin, and Jake was like, "Wait a minute, hold on, you shouldn't be doing all that." So I was like, damn, did Chavez Jr. throw this fight? But once I found out about Chavez Jr. with his warrants in Mexico with the cartels, and any guy that's dealing with shady stuff like that would be more than willing to take a dive for a few $1 million. I forget how much he made right now. But enough of Chavez Jr. On to Deontay Wilder. Wilder's been through the battles with Fury. He didn't look good against Zhang. So, needless to say, Deontay Wilder is on the backside of his career. So the question is this actually a good cherry-picking fight for Jake Paul? I say no, because Wilder still has a lot of power. Wilder can hurt him. We don't need to see Jake Paul on the floor like Apollo and Deontay Wilder looking up at him saying if he dies, he dies, and he's the modern-day Black Draco. You know, that wouldn't be cool. We don't need that in boxing. But with all jokes aside, I would advise Jake not to step into the ring with Deontay Wilder. But I do love what Jake Paul is doing, right? Because he's putting a lot of people on. He's putting a lot of faces on boxing. The people that he has on his undercards are real tight. Only the boxing community, true fans, would know about these people. But they're good fights. The women that are fighting, the men that are fighting, are people that I know that are pretty good, technically skilled, but a lot of people don't know about him because they just don't get the chance. So I give him his credit with that, and I believe he believes that he can beat certain boxers, even though he's not fighting them like, real skilled boxers. But to come from where he came from in the boxing world and to get to where he's gotten, I would be juiced up too and feel real good about myself and say I could beat anybody, because I know I came from being a skinny kid and I put on a lot of weight and put in a lot of work, and I feel that I can beat the average boxer. He definitely can beat your average person on the street or your average amateur. So I give him his praise on that note. But as far as the people that he's fighting, that's trash cans. And if he fight Deontay Wilder, this would definitely be his last fight that he ever fight, as far as fighting someone that's technically skilled. Not saying Deontay Wilder is, but he's a professional boxer. He'll knock your head off, plain and simple. So what we're going to do is this. I'm going to read this article about Jake Paul wanting to fight Deontay Wilder. I'm pretty sure he'll offer Wilder enough money. Now, will he be able to offer him enough money to take a dive like Chavez Jr. did? I doubt it. But I'm going to read this article, and I'll be back with you to spit some more of that high fire holler. This is from Boxing News 24/7. Jake Paul seems to really and truly want to get into the ring with a big-time name heavyweight. This is so as he can test his skills against a big-time puncher and a former world champion. It's either that or Paul has a death wish. We've heard Paul talk about not only wanting to fight Anthony Joshua, but with him stating that the fight is likely for next year. And now, as per interview with Malik Scott gave with Thunder Pick, Paul is 100% serious about wanting to fight Deontay Wilder. Paul, last seen boxing his way to a dull decision win over a reluctant Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., has apparently now shifted his concentration towards a fight with the former WBC heavyweight champ, Deontay Wilder. Quote, Jake is dead serious about wanting to fight Deontay Wilder, end quote, said Scott. I've been in New York for the Katie Taylor fight, and I just met Jake Paul's partner, and the first thing he said was, we're interested in the Deontay Wilder fight. He asked me, what do you think of it? They're just so serious. Some of these things that he said confidently to me really makes you know that they're not fake confidence. They're really confident. But how on earth would fans react if a Wilder versus Paul fight did actually happen? And how would the fight unfold if it did go down? The Wilder of a couple of years ago would surely have vaporized Paul inside a few minutes at most. Heck, Wilder would probably score a KO even now, as faded as he is. But imagine if Wilder either struggled or, heaven forbids for his sake, actually lost, say via decision to Paul. How differently we would all remember Wilder years from now if this did happen. Aside from some more big money to sit in his bank along with his current fortune, what would the fight offer Wilder though? Again, who knows if we'll ever get to see Wilder-Paul fight ever happen. But Deontay Wilder's former trainer says he believes the key to Team Paul's success is timing. Quote, is the timing right for Paul to take on a faded, far less lethal version of the Bronx Bomber? End quote. See, he posed the same question that I just did earlier in this segment. Is this a good fight for Jake Paul? Is he cherry picking? The thing is this, I think Deontay Wilder could be 50 years old with one eye, one hand, and in a wheelchair, and I think he still could knock Paul out. And I'm being dead serious with you. So Paul, do me a favor. You won't hear this, or maybe you will, or you won't care about it, because I'm just a small P, right? Do not get into that ring with Deontay Wilder unless you know you've paid him enough not to get knocked out, or the man above came to you personally, not even in a dream, I mean personally to you, and said, take this fight, I guarantee you, you can win. On that note, I've been Sean Mack, and this is Sports Fans Only. Holla.